Okay, so welcome back. You have your unpack standard, you have your progression. We've talked about the structure, the workshop model of what your structure of your teaching and learning can look like in your classroom. And let's take just a moment to talk about how do we use these progressions for responsive teaching. What I'd like to do first is define the term responsive. Responsive means that we're able to react quickly and positively. So I think starting to see things not as a deficit, but here's where we are right now, and here's what the next step is that we're going to be doing. Here's what I'm going to teach you, and you're ready for. You're doing this today, and now you're ready to start moving in this direction. Let's go back to the document camera. Okay, responsive teaching. This is just like a little cycle that shows the cycle, the responsive teaching cycle. So I want to take just a moment to share with you that I was teaching my children, my boys, years ago, how to do laundry. And so the data that I was collecting was that I was doing all of the laundry and that they were not doing any laundry. So my goal was for them to be able to effectively do their own laundry in a way that would protect their clothes, clean their clothes, and help their clothes last for a really long time. So I had actually, this is funny, I think, created a progression for learning of getting them to effectively, efficiently be able to clean their clothes, wash their clothes, dry their clothes in a way that will make it last for a long time. So the first thing that I picked, I looked at the data. Habits are a great place to start to get them toward the skills that we want. So we had no habit of washing clothes. And so I picked a skill of we're going to start doing our own laundry, but I want them to sort their clothes into piles. At first, what they were thinking was they were bringing their wet towels from the shower. They were bringing their bed clothes. They were bringing all of their laundry, their clothes, and then trying to just throw that all in the washer. So I said, you know what? Here's our goal right now. And my sons are colorblind. So we're going to pick a skill. I'm going to teach you how to sort your clothes. Sort your clothes into one pile, sort your, other things like towels and things into another pile, and we're going to sort. And from there, I taught them how to sort a second time into darks and lights. So that the skill was sorting. The strategy I taught them was sorting into two piles at first, the clothes and the non-clothes, and then by color, dark and light. I taught them how to do it, and then they went and they did it. And so I looked at the data and I had to decide, do they need less scaffolding or do they need more time and more practice? Well, let me tell you what, we needed some more time and more practice. So I went back, taught them how to do it again, and they did it again. That's exactly what happens in responsive teaching. So if I were teaching something like the algorithm, when I would teach the algorithm in math, what I would find a lot of times is, first of all, I didn't even know because I didn't have conceptual learning that about tens, ones, hundreds, thousands. So what I would do is if I noticed students were struggling with borrowing and carrying, we would get out. I would teach them how to make the tens, like the tens and with the cubes, and turn that into a rod, which was a 10. And then 10 of those rods would be 100. So I would teach that skill, how to use these manipulatives. That was the strat. They needed help with tens and ones. The strategy was I used the manipulatives. I taught them how to do it. They tried it. And then I collected data and decided, do you need me to start scaffolding away these manipulatives, or do you need more practice, or do you need me to teach you a new strategy? So once they have that strategy mastered, I pick a new skill. And then once I pick that new skill, I decide one thing, one strategy I'm going to teach them. I teach them. They go off and practice it for a while, not just one day. And then I look at their data. I can look at their data by walking around. I can look at their data by collecting exit slips. I can look at their data through looking at their papers and their work. I can look at their data through studying their notebooks. And then I decide, do I need to start taking away the scaffold of the tool or taking away the scaffold of the manipulatives and let them start doing it without that? Because in real life, we might not have that, right? Or do we need some more practice or maybe a new strategy? So this is recursive. It's ongoing. We do this over and over again. It's just that we might need it. We might be ready, or they should be ready for a new skill as time goes on, which we use our progression. They've mastered this. So once my boys had mastered sorting based on color, I taught them about sorting their clothes based on color and on fabric type. So if you have like a lighter fabric type, I don't want it in there with your blue jeans. I want it to be used. I want you to sort those out and wash those very differently. So do you see how I just did that? I looked at the data. I looked at my progression, located where they were, decided what their next skill was that I needed to teach. I picked a strategy to teach it. I taught it to them, let them practice a little bit, looked at the data, and then made my decision. So when you think about your time, in the workshop model, and you're trying to decide, like, what does this even look like? That responsive teaching cycle is exactly what it looks like. And you pull out your progressions that you've created on the standards, and then you teach to them. I hope you have a great day.